Hey up troops, welcome back to the Litanah Army. I'm Lit and this is Fortnite Save the World, and what we're checking out today is things that I think would fix Fortnite Save the World. Now the game at the moment, you can see from the Reddit posts, you can see from Magic's comment to Demon Joe not long ago, you can also see from a lot of the videos that are coming out, even comments on my YouTube videos, that a lot of people aren't happy with the game. Now Season 10's not been as great as what it could have been. Demon Joe again has addressed that, Aiden Harris's recent video addresses that as well, and Season 10 has been a little bit lackluster, you know, and the player base is noticeably lower than what it was. I mean, I went away from the game for a while, and I can definitely tell, you can feel that the player base is absolutely lower than what it was. However, I do think there are things we can do to change this, so I'm going to look at my top 6 things that I think we can do to actually make this game better. Now, what I want you to do is watch the 6 things, and then maybe add something down below in the comments that you think could be actually better about the game as well. So I'm going to give you 6 things, but then I want you to add something in the comments down below to what you think could actually improve the game. Maybe something that I've missed, because I would absolutely love to know. Maybe we can talk about those in a future video as well. But for now, stay tuned and let's look at our top 6 things that would revive Fortnite Save the World before it goes free to play. Okay, so the first thing that I would do is block weapon trades. Weapon trading is something that I'm not overly bothered about, you know. So I know we've got a lot of these scammer channels, and they really used to rile me, to be honest. They really used to bother me that these people weren't playing the game. However, it doesn't bother me so much these days, only because it's kind of become its own separate genre, a separate part of the game. But bearing in mind that Epic did remove the AFK war game, something that the base community absolutely loved. Now, again, I can understand why they removed that. They removed it because it was taken away from the core of the game, and, you know, the game became about almost being AFK, about not being part of the game. So about not playing the actual missions that are on the map, about not actually doing anything in the game, you know, building up your traps, which was great fun, and then going AFK and watching, you know, watching your work happen. However, the only problem with that is the core of the game then is kind of being neglected. But is that not the same for the scammer get scammed meta? Is that not the same for this whole weapon trading thing that we've got going? Fortnite Save the World is not Borderlands or Borderlands 2. It's not about swapping weapons over and things like that. Okay, it is about that in-game, you know, it is about that for your own character, but it's a personal experience. It's not one that you share with others, and it's something that I feel probably shouldn't be in the game, you know. Take away the ability to actually drop weapons, so you can only actually drop wood, stone, metal, maybe even resource mats for traps and stuff like that when you're doing like a hit the road mission. That would be pretty cool, but I don't think, you know, trading weapons is never really needed. I've never been in a situation where I've not had a weapon that I needed, and if I do have someone in a game who's actually asking for a weapon, although I will give them one, it always leaves the question as to why they're so unprepared to the point where they don't even bother to bring a weapon. Should they even be getting through that quest if they can't even make their own weapons? Taking this away will actually encourage people to develop their own weapons and play the games, which can only be a good thing. Point number 2 then that I've come up with is guild ranks and social tools. This is one that I saw on Reddit quite a while ago, and I can't remember who posted the original, so if that is you, then let me know in the comments. But guild ranks and social tools would be absolutely great, and maybe even later on in the long term have a guild social area. Guild Wars 2 implemented this really well, and I just think it would help, you know, stop the leeches, stop the AFK players. There are some big Save the World communities out there. I only have to look in our Discord, which has got over 5,000 members in it. If we could build a guild together so that you know that everyone in that guild would be looking out for each other, would be, you know, taking part in the missions. And there's a lot of people in this game who are too shy or even too worn down now by the lack of bad pickup groups that they just don't go into groups anymore. They almost play the game solo. I actually think having guilds with ranked and social tools would actually encourage people to play the game a lot more, to play the game properly, and it would just make the whole experience so much nicer as well. Now, I don't want that to take away from people who are you know, don't want to be in a guild, who aren't affiliated with a guild. I still think that it would be cool, you know, if a guild only had 3 members to be, for example, in a party, and then it picks up the 3rd member from a non-guilded member, so it actually specifically goes to the, you know, the 4th slot, the empty slot, specifically goes to a non-guilded member. However, I just think it'd be pretty awesome if they had something like that in there. And when I say social tools, what I'm thinking, I don't know if this was the same as what the Reddit guy was thinking, but social tools, I was thinking like ranks, so the ability to like kick, the ability to ban, the ability to promote, and this kind of thing, and even maybe even give awards out as well. So make it so that the guild leader and the guild officers, or the guild admin if you like, can give out rewards for people who have done exceptionally well. If guilds could also earn banners and badges, that would be also pretty great. So if you could have something whereby I don't know, you could have, let's say, if 15 people or 25 people all got the hit the road banner, maybe that gives the guild something to say that, you know, this guild specializes in hit the road and something like that. I think that would be pretty cool, and almost have like a trophy cabinet that goes alongside that. There are a lot of things you could do with the guild ranks and social tools that would make the game, again, so much better. Tip number 3 then, and my third idea that I've got, is farming mode with heroes and also farming zones on the map. So we've recently had a couple of new zones on the map, you know, we've got like Autumn City and things like that, but I think it would be awesome if we actually had a farming zone. So actually some storm clouds, even, you don't even have to make a new zone. You could even keep the zones that you've got, maybe cities and industrial estates, and make it so that they're actually farming zones. So there's no timer on the actual mission, you can just go in there and gather what you want, or even maybe put a timer in it, I don't even know. But have it so that you can actually farm on the map, so you can farm with any hero. So you don't actually have a farming hero per se, you have a farming mode. So when you enter these farming maps, your hero, like we could have Calamity for example, goes into farming mode, and then what she actually does, she's got the anti-material charge with the wider burst on that, so she can actually get through 2-3, you know, she can charge 3 tiles with the anti-material charge, and it actually bursts out around her, so you can just farm a little bit quicker. I don't think farming was meant to be as prominent as what it is in the game, but because it is, and it has become that way, why not address that and actually build it into the game as well? You could also have rewards for things that are in these missions, so when you're on the farming maps, don't make them for nothing, you could actually reward something. So if you farm particularly fast, for example, so if you go from 0 to 5,000 of any material, so if you go from 0 to 5,000 metal while you're on a farming map, maybe then you could take, you know, you could get something extra. Maybe even as well, put the things that you get from farming straight into your storage, so that you don't have to worry about messing around with your inventory and stuff, so that, you know, if you are short on things, it fills up your backpack first, so it gets to your metal up to 5,000, and then it carries on storing into your inventory, into your storage just after that. I just think that would be such a good thing, and you could actually have, as I said, rewards for farming a particular thing in a particular amount of time. I just think that would be great. Maybe even hide things on these farming maps, so maybe like hide an evolution max cache, for example, on there. Just maybe one that gets shared out between everyone, so you get, for example, I don't know, 25 pure drops of rain if you can find the cache that's on there. And you could even hide that in obscure places. I still think people would find that fun to do, and it would just take the edge off farming and make the whole experience of actually leveling up a lot better. Okay, so idea number 4 then is cinematics after each area, especially once you hit max level. I think one issue with the game is, and one thing that I find new players complain about a lot in this game, is nothing happens when you get to the next section. Okay, there's a little bit of dialogue from Ray, and the dialogue's actually great, you know, the dialogue's really good, but dialogue doesn't really carry a game. I mean, this is 2019. When we look at the opening cinematic that we originally got when the game was first released, there was a lot of hype around this game, and I know I'm biased, but I still believe that the Fortnite Save the World cinematic is the best cinematic that Fortnite Save the World have ever, that Fortnite, the Epic Games have actually ever put forward. I actually think it's the best looking one. I think the story behind it is great, and I just think that that's something that should have been carried on. Do you know, once you get past Stonewood, why not have a short cinematic or something just to show that sense of achievement there? I mean, you've done a big thing, you've cleared an entire area, why not have a cinematic in there? To be honest, you would need one at the end of Stonewood, one at the end of Plankerton, one at the end of Canny Valley, one at the end of Twine Peaks, and then maybe one when you hit max level as well. And just something that I don't think we see enough of. We saw some kind of lackluster cutscenes in some of the old events, you know, where you get a camera that kind of pans around the objective and things like that. We've seen things like that in the past, but why not make this a full-on thing and make it something, you know, make it something that people want to come back to. This game can be saved. This game can still be really great. I don't think it's over for Fortnite Save the World, but I think things like cinematics are going to just really give a show of faith from Epic that we're putting a lot of time into this. I know cinematics aren't easy to make. They're absolutely not. You know, there's a lot of, I mean, God, just making the images that go into those alone is difficult. So make images that move, make backgrounds as well that are interactive and things like that, or that are reactive to what's going off with the main characters that are moving around. It's tough, it's hard, but I just think that's the kind of things that Fortnite Save the World needs if it's going to show that they're going to, you know, that the Epic Games have got faith in the game. And I just think it'd be great for us as well. You know, a lot of us have been through the game. I would definitely start again if it meant seeing them cinematics, or even archive the cinematics so I can watch them. So if I've already gone past that event, then maybe make it so that I can watch them, and then start adding cinematics to the events as well. The last time I remember a really good cinematic, we had a short one on FROSTNITE, but it was more geared to Battle Royale. The best one I ever saw in an event was the FORTNITEMARES event the first time around. But really, cinematics kind of stopped since then, which again kind of leaves the question of, are we putting the same amount of effort into Fortnite Save the World as we are in Battle Royale? seeing more cutscenes in there, you know, make the mission short, even make the event missions shorter, because they're just fetch quests. People are getting frustrated with those, and we'll touch on those later on. But make the event shorter and put some more time into the actual cinematics. That'll actually be a huge boost for this game. So point number 5 then, we talked about earlier the reason why they'd moved war games, or why they'd taken that mode out, or why they'd nerfed war games if you like. But I understand the reasoning for that. As I said, it took away from the core game and it kind of encouraged AFK, something that a developer doesn't want. You don't want your player away from keyboard. You don't want your player not playing the main part of your game. I totally understand that. However, what if they locked this area down to level 130 only? So if you're level 130, you've maxed out your level, then you have access to things like war games, to hit the road. You kind of make these permanent modes now, and even FORTNITE as well. 3 fantastic modes. Epic really, you know, picked up the ball on those 3 modes, and I think they've been a lot of fun. Alright, you're obviously going to get a lot of controversy. You know, some people aren't going to like them, some people are, but you've got 3 really unique modes there that absolutely work. You know, we know that these modes work, we know that people enjoyed getting them. But why not put those at max level? Why not put them behind the level cap wall? So once you get to level 130, then you can start doing those. And then maybe you could give out rewards like we got in the cram session. So instead of getting like 36 pure drops of rain, for example, you're going to get, I don't know, 90 pure drops of rain instead. So the evolution maps become bigger, it becomes much more worth it, and there's a reason to go to max level then. If I could be getting, you know, per every hit the road, FORTNITE, or war games or things like that, if I could be getting 90, 100 pure drops of rain, 150 lightning in a bottle, for example. Now I don't need these mats to level up anymore, but I've got a ton of weapons that I want to level up, that I want to, you know, that I want to play around with. We've always got new weapons coming into the event store. We've always got new heroes that are coming up, be that through events or be that through whatever it may be, or in the item shop. But that's the kind of thing that we need to see. That's the kind of thing that you want to reward your max plays for. Currently in the game right now, there is no big reward for hitting max level. So when you hit that level cap, when you hit max level in this game, there's no real reward for it, and I think that's something that needs to be addressed. If you could put those modes in, so we talked about again, war games, hit the road, and FORTNITE, and maybe even add some others, then the world's your oyster. You know, the game can then grow by adding modes to this area. So even you could either rotate the 3 modes that are in the 130 zone, or you could just add to them, make it so that there's like 10 different things that you could do once you hit 130. A lot of games do this, and a lot of games successfully do this, and again, it just makes it so the game's worth playing. It makes it so it's worth all the grind, all that grind that you've put in to reach 130, and there is a lot. All that grind that you've put into 130 becomes absolutely worth it. I mean, you could even do something else where you, I mean, if I really go out on a limb there, you could do something where you add in something even better. Why not have custom hoverboards? Why not have only allow hoverboards, you know, once you get up to that level? I don't know, there's just a lot of things that you could do. Maybe even vehicles. Put mechs in there, I don't know. But there's a lot of things that you could do to make the end game much, much more rewarding. Okay, my final point then is point number 6, and I've left this at the end because this is one that I'm not sure of how they would implement this yet, but I think the premise is there. So what I've actually said is to change events. So maybe rather than just do a series of 4 pages of fetch quests, fetch this, find that, you know, find the flyer cannons, you know, go and find the guy that's down somewhere in this area, go and find, you know, 32 tickets that are floating around this area. Rather than do that every single event, every event's just kind of a copy paste of an old event with some awesome dialogue in it. I always love the dialogue in the game, but again, I think they're missing the point of the dialogue kind of carries it at the minute. What you could do is maybe have a mini battle pass, maybe something that's got like 25 tiers of tasks on there, or challenges, and it gives out cosmetics, it gives out new heroes. Maybe that's the better way to get it. You know, we know that this system works. Battle Royale's been using this system for ages and people love it. Maybe that's something that we could get. So maybe not a full 100 tier battle pass, although that would be amazing, but maybe not a full 100 tier, but maybe like a 25 tier battle pass, maybe a 50 tier battle pass, and maybe put the tasks into there, and don't make them all fetch quests. Maybe it could just be things like the challenges that you've actually got, you know, so kill 500 husks with a pistol, for example, and I just think things like that would be much, much better. Maybe it could be something like find a particular factory building because there might be a story behind it. So there's this evil like boss that's come about who's making money off the end of the world, and what you actually got to do is destroy his factory. So you have to go with pickaxes and just level the factory, you know, take every bit of that building down. So you've got to find the marked building and then destroy it with your pickaxes, and you've got to do it in a certain amount of time. Just something that's a little bit more creative, I just think would be much, much more fun, and again, just give a bit more meat on the bones to Fortnite Save the World, and something that's needed. We know that battle passes work in all sorts of games. Apex Apex Legends has adopted that now. Dauntless has adopted that, and it's just something that Save the World kind of the king of. Do you know, it's the cousin game of it, or its sister game if you like, or father game, whichever you want to call it. Do you know, Fortnite Battle Royale is the king of the Battle Pass. So why not add it into its, you know, into this little side project that we've got going on that we call Save the World, and why not make it so that we've got something like that we can get into? And I just think that the events would be great. I understand that Fortnite, you know, the Epic Games want to keep the story in Fortnite Save the World. I totally get that, but you can still do that via the Battle Pass, given if you give the season enough of a theme, do you know, like a completely revamped map that we got in Fortnite, something like that. I just think that the potential is still there. But guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. These are the 6 things that I think need to change. So written down here, I've actually got block weapon trades, also guilds with ranks and social tools. We've got farming modes with heroes. We've also got cinematics as well after you do each area and after you reach the level cap. Bring back war games, Hit the Road, and Frostnight, but only keep those for max level, so there's some sort of end game content there. We've got 3 brilliant end game modes there, and just boost the mats to make them like the cram session. And then the 6th one that we got on there as well, which was to change how the events are made, and maybe bring in some kind of battle pass to Fortnite Save the World. Now look, you don't have to agree with all of these. I'm sure, you know, some people are going to say, yeah, do you know what, I like idea 1, 2, and 3, but I don't like the other 3, and that's absolutely fine. But I would love to know your comments down below on what your thoughts are. What does this actually need to revive? You know, what do Epic Games need to do to make Save the World the go-to game again that it was just a few months ago? Let me know in the comments down below, guys. Massive thanks for watching. If you're not part of the Litanah Army already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.